Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crown Cup Season 5. And today's match is going to take place within the Champion Division. Now, keep in mind that we're just over halfway through the group stages, so there is still time for the lower teams to make it to playoffs. Today's game will be a Void List versus HGI Amber. I'm joined by Mary and Holden, your in-game casters for tonight. Now, I thought we'd open today's stream with a little bit of a thought. What do you guys think about the new patch notes that came out yesterday?
The patch notes, they're not too bad. Honestly, they made some decent changes. I believe we've got the patch notes here on stream, if we could pan over to those. Yes, here we are. So we have like the tank changes. Now, some things that really confuses me when it comes to Overwatch devs and their patches is the ultimate cost changes that they do. Because Winston, not gonna lie, I'm not sure if Primal Rage is really the deciding factor on how powerful that tank is. But as you look around on the other ones, Domina, a nice tiny little buff to her ult. Once again, I'm not sure if the ultimate is the main thing heaping that tank behind, as well as Hazard, once again, getting an ultimate cross increase. I mean, I can't remember the last time a downpour was the ultimate I was afraid of in these matches, but they just seem to be small little balance changes. Now, one thing that I am happy about, though, is the Orisa Spear getting changed, because now I'm not going to get made fun of for taking the spear perk on Orisa, which my team makes fun of me every single time I do, just because I hate shields. So having that little bit of extra damage, a little bit of extra knockback, just off rip, not having to charge up, makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean it's a little strange having these like little few tweaks, like having that healing increase on revitalizing barrier being increased by 5 HP. I'm not sure how many people that affects. But yeah. Mary, how are you thinking about the patch notes?
I mean, I don't particularly care about tank heroes. I'm more of a support hero person. I play my role, and all I care about is my role. I can't really lie. Though, from what I've seen, Mizuki has been nerfed, which, I mean, I think it's good. I think Mizuki has reigned over both scrims and ranked for quite a while now, and I think it might be a good change. And I don't think the patch notes have been out for long enough to see whether it's gonna be good or bad. I genuinely do not think that he was nerfed into the ground. We have cat buffs. I don't know why, but I mean, we have higher base speed and acceleration. We have a lot of cat buffs actually. Her ultimate cost was increased, which is a nerf. Her base movement speed is obviously increased from 5.5 to 6. Air acceleration from 7.7 to 9.5. She has a new perk. Juno, I'm very excited about. I think Juno has just kind of been stuck in the mid area of not really being good, but not really being bad. I'm very happy to see some Juno buffs. Lifeweaver, I mean, the life grip has been kind of. I've been looking online, and people have just been split on it. Like, Lifeweaver mains kind of hate it because they feel like their control has been taken over, and I personally think that it's good. I mean, how many times have we lost the game because a Lifeweaver pulled you like in the middle of your fight-winning ultimate? It is absolutely insane. We have a Wuyang buff, and we have a Zen buff. I've actually been seeing a lot of Zen in ranked after this buff.
I can't help but think we skipped over a role. We should probably look at how the DPS are doing. Yeah. I mean,
the DPS aren't looking too bad. I mean, as a Vendetta player, I love how I can finally walk out of spawn and not be disappointed. The fact I had to wait 7 seconds to move, it was quite embarrassing. But the main thing I want to look at here is Echo's perks have been quite powerful for a long time. Having 50% more sticky bombs on that major perk, being able to get faster move speed and the extended beam on the miner. I do like how that faster move speed and that focusing beam perk has been moved to major. I think that adds a lot more balance to her kit rather than her being this really devastating sort of cleaner up assassin type of playstyle that you saw on Echoes. Fly high, get the sticky bombs, and then they just get to speed away with that final beam kill. Changing it to major really hinders her scaling, so that's made me very happy, even though I like playing the character. But replacing it with infinite ammo during flight, I mean, it's just kind of boring, let's be honest. Come on, Blizzard. Could have given it something cooler. I've seen a lot of Cassidy's as well really liking the combat role. I'm not sure if it is necessarily the better perk, because, having a better flashbang is definitely useful when going against those pesky tracers, but it's nice to giddy up and get a little bit faster movement speed, so I'm sure all the Cassidy players out there are happy. And as we all know, Tracer having any changes nowadays really puts her place in the meta. Having that faster health regen, I don't think it's going to really bring her into this top dog spot, but it's going to make playing Tracer a lot nicer. She was already quite good. She's already very potent, and I feel like this is the last little thing that she needs to maybe push her into a lot more playtime, especially when she's fighting against Shion, being the more dominant pick for these flex CPS players at the moment. So overall, I don't think necessarily big changes, but in terms of quality of life, I mean, this update makes me happy. It puts a smile on my face. So overall, the patches are good in my opinion.
I'm not sure if we have a graphic for it, but one thing to note is that the flanker sub-role has been nerfed. So the HP that you get from health packs has been changed from 75 to 50. So, you were saying about how Tracer's buff is very beneficial for her. Well, she's been changed in another way, so this could definitely, switch up how Tracer's played.
Yeah.
And as an asterisk as well, even though Demon is in the live game, she is not available to be played until playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these players as well, they're definitely scrimming this Demon, especially now with these hot patches that are giving her a little bit more damage, a little bit more speed and maneuverability. I don't think she's quite at the powerful spot that some of these other characters were on release, like Release Hazard, Release Shion, etc., etc. But she feels like a tank that if you just change a few numbers, a little bit more damage on her slashes, maybe a little bit more maneuverability when her shield is up, she can be a threat. She's extremely good at taking space. She right now just struggles at keeping the space. So if you just fiddle some numbers around, she's definitely a tank to watch out for. So when we move into the playoffs and when she is finally able to have playtime, I'm really interested to see what these teams are going to do. Because, new character can bring anything to the table, especially in a tournament like this.
Yeah, it's very very interesting. Sorry, that sounded very negative. I did not mean it that way. Now, looking at our the support caster here, Mary, how you feeling with Demon already being buffed?
I mean, I think I think she absolutely deserved some love. I mean, it was quite sad seeing her being worse than a Reinhardt, and when she was anticipated to just be a better version of quote unquote a better version of Reinhardt in Brawl. She was just struggling, and it was also due to bugs and also like due to her damage. I am personally excited to see where she's going and if there are going to be any buffs in the future that are going to like put her in the meta. I do hope they don't do the Blizzard and over buff her. But I definitely do think that she deserves her time to prove herself in some comps. And I do hope that our second member of Mecha Squad that we just got isn't going to be a disappointment.
Yeah. Now that we've had our thoughts on the patch notes, should we have a look at how today's game is going to go? We've got well, during with the Challenger division, we've got today's games. We've got this week's game. Sorry, we've got APL Luna and SY Aventurin, EC Shinzoku versus Giddy Party, and Your Stack versus Berlin Bonobos. And over in the Champion division, we've got Pixies versus Connecting Circus, Novak Celestia versus the Unlucky Omens, HGI Amber versus Avoidless, which is the game that we're covering now, and Glorp Dust Crusaders versus EC Monogama.
Yeah, I mean, there's some very fun teams out there. I'm a big fan of Necken Circus. I went against them once. It was the most horrifying time of my life. I'd
We
rather
both
play a
did.
horror game than play against us. They're a horrifying team with this Doomfist Ball Junkrat playstyle that they have. But I'm really interested in today's match, HGI Amber versus the Voidless, because it seems like, at least from the sheets that we've been given, there's two very different styles of play here. HGI Amber seem to have adopted this Sigma Mizu comp, but opting for a Shion instead of the Mei. So they're wanting to play this a lot more push and pull style of things, really wanting to take things a little bit slower, maybe whip out the Zenyatta as we see there with a favored hero to just play this longer, further back, more methodical style of play. But on the other hand, almost like an evil arch nemesis, you have a Voidless who are wanting to play these much faster comps. They've got players who are comfortable on Zarya, on Genji, on Jetpack Cat, on Lucio, but we've also seen playtime in the past where they've whipped out the Malga, they've whipped out the Bastion Cat, so they really are very, very flexible, but they also seem very aggressive. They want to take fast turn after turn after turn and drain the resources of their opponent. So I'm really excited to see the two different puzzles that are going to be brought to these teams and how they're going to sort of meticulously break down what the other person's trying to do and get a dub over them. Because at the end of the day, when you're at an SR like this and you're at the top of your game like these teams are, it really comes down to who can figure the other team out first, and whoever does that will hopefully take on the series and maybe even the Crown Cup.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the tournament as a whole, we still need to look at the standings before the games start. I suppose we should have a look at the challenger standings first. I mean, we've got Judy Party and EC Shinzoku both at 2-team wins. We've got Berlin Bonobos, SYN Aventurin, Your Stack, and APL Luna all on 1 win each, and we've got GG Laref with two losses. So yeah, I mean, quite an even board. And like I said earlier, we are only halfway through the group stages. We still have another 2 weeks, so anything could change here. You know, we could see any of the teams at positions 5 to 7, all the way at first, going into playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a dogfight. Mary, what teams are you supporting in this bracket in particular?
Oh my god, I wonder. Well, there's this one team that is like really, really caught my eye. It is Sin Aventurine, which just lost to APL Luna last night. Uh,
I wasn't gonna
but
bring it up.
well, I have to bring it up. APL Luna has absolutely been on a roll. They redid their roster, and I genuinely do think that they might actually take this bracket completely. I think they might be the winners of Challenger Division.
I mean, absolutely. Chitty Party, Shinzoku, keep your eyes out. APL Luna, you've heard it here first. Cineventure, warning you that this is a team to look out for and a team to keep your eyes on.
Do you have any favorites? Who are you rooting for?
Me, yeah, I'm a big, big Luna fan. I almost subbed in for them last night, but sadly I was busy. But yeah, I've been rooting for them the whole time. I'm a big, big Apollo fan. I love their teams. And yeah, I really want to see them go far in this tournament. So hearing you say that Luna have it in them only brings a smile to my face.
I mean,
Shall
we should
we?
have a look at the champion division now. We've got Pixies and Connecting Circus are both at 2 wins. We've got HGI Amber, Novak Celestia, The Unlucky Omens, and a Void List all at 1 win each. And we've got EC Managama and Glorp Dust Crusaders at 2 losses each. I mean, it's pretty much the same story as Challenger. It's very, very very evenly spread. So anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And whichever team wins today, they're going to have a much, much better fight for that final spot due to seeding. So it's going to be really important for the winner of this match to sort of have that sort of easier, little comfortable blanket, beneath them. So it's a dogfight today, which is why I'm so excited because both these teams have so much personality in just the characters they're picking themselves. So I'm just ready to get straight into it.
Yeah, it does seem like.
Should we? Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Hold on. Shall we pick our favorites between the two teams? I think each caster should be rooting for at least one team.
I mean, I see Genji, Cassidy, Lucio, Anna, Wrecking Ball. I mean, this is a comp that I love. I love going fast, I love being aggressive. So, in terms of going into the Sigma comp, I've tried playing it. To be fair, it's quite fun, but my heart lies where the aggression is. So, if I'm rooting for a team, I'm rooting for a Void list here.
Ah man, you stole the Zarya players for me. I guess I can go with Sigma comps. Oh,
It does seem like production have there. It does seem like we have the map pick here, and it's going to be Oasis. It's a very interesting game to start off with. You know, typically we see the Lijiang Tower insta picked, and we still have yet to see Antarctic Peninsula on this season's on streamed. We yeah. Sorry.
Yes, I hate Antarctic Peninsula. Keep it going. Save
really?
my eyes. But yeah, I think HGI Amber, I believe they got first map pick, and it makes sense, really. If you're wanting to play this more slow comp that can just dominate one angle after the other and just be a sort of brick wall moving across the field, Oasis is the best one for it. Lijiang, you've got those two submats that are outside that make it really. It's like Ball's Playhouse. He absolutely loves to fly around. Same with Antarctic Peninsula, there's much more open space. Oasis, you're having to fight down corridors a lot of the time, or you're having to hold in high ground. That's two things that Sigma loves to do and just let the enemy walk into them. So this is a smart map choice, in my opinion.
I don't particularly agree. I think Antarctic Peninsula is actually a quite nice map. I'm personally a big hater of Oasis, and I don't know. I feel like Sigma might struggle on some of the points. I'm not too sure. We shall see.
We
Hmm.
shall see.
We could see we could see like any bans here. We could see an instant target ban, like a I don't know, like a not a target ban, sorry. We could see like a very strong ban straight off the bat, like a cat or a Ramatra, or even like a tracer. Or we could see them playing much more softer. Well, just like
Oh,
Magic, they're on the screen.
we have the
HGI Amber
bans.
have yeah. sorry, sorry.
No, you good.
HGI Amber have decided to pick Reinhardt for their ban and avoid list, immediately getting JPC off of the field.
Yeah, I mean this feels like a little bit like a protect ban, but also like if they're running this really slow comp, Reinhardt is a comp that can just put up their shield, especially if they're trying to do it with the Sigma Mizu and go for that hard stun rotation. Reinhardt can be the one tank that can bring a lot of trouble to that. And I think a Void's Lift ban of the Jetpack Cat here, maybe a little bit of a random one to my eyes, at least if you know that you're going against a team that wants to play this slow sort of style of play. But I'm not going to disrespect Jetpack Cat on Oasis. There's many different coastal lanes and there's many different high grounds that you can fly around. It makes the kidnaps much more deadly and it makes the corners that much worse when a cat can just come down, burst, boop you, and slash you. So both of these bands look very meticulous. Very exciting.
I can't help but feel like Cat Ban would have been better off left for a different map. I don't know. It just feels like Oasis isn't really the map to ban Cat on. I would have expected it more on escort maps or honestly even some push maps.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that banning Cat straight off the bat has almost guaranteed that they've shot themselves in the foot for a later map in the set. You know, there's so many other maps that Cat is much stronger on. You know, even just looking at the other control maps. You know, Lijiang Cat Curie is quite strong, and seeing we have quite a lot of like fast fast paced maps that
Yeah.
benefit having that cat and enabling a slow character to quickly reposition. So I think I don't want to say it's a wasted ban, because maybe they were expecting a cat, and they were like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna do that." Like Holden was saying about how there's a lot of strong catnap spots on Oasis, but I think this is severely I think this is severely shot themselves in the foot. Yeah. Sorry, I'm tripping up my own words.
No, you're completely okay.
Yeah, it's
We're getting a word that there are some lobby issues happening, so I guess the Yapathon continues, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, I do
I
think
know
it's
about
weird letting Mizuki get left here quite clear and in the open. I mean, Control and Flashpoint are two very strong Mizuki maps because it's very difficult to push into a Sanctuary, and it's very easy to shut down any other ultimate with it. So when you play an objective where you just have to stand in one spot or possibly let it flip to the enemy, and that mistake can last so long, I think letting Mizuki go here, it might be a misplay. But I don't know who's behind the Jetpack Cat controls to the side of HGI Amber. You never know. They might have a demon on the feline over there. And if we see it on later maps, I'm happy to eat my words.
I mean, I'm honestly more scared of Cat on because I do know that both dive maps are currently in the pool. Gibraltar. Wait, am I tripping? I might be tripping
You
actually.
are
Hold on.
tripping. You are
I am
tripping.
tripping. I think only Jib is in
Well,
the pool.
if we go back to the map pool, we could re-jog your memory. For Control, we've got Antarctic Peninsula, Lijiang Tower, and Oasis. For Flashpoint, we've got Surabasa, New Junction City, and Atlas. For Hybrid, we've got Hollywood, Kings Row, and Neon Junction. For Escort, we've got Circuit Royale, Rialto, and Watchpoint. Apparently, I'm tripping. I'm sorry. For Push, we've got Colosseo, Esperanza, and Luna Sapi. So
No, I thought both Dorado and Gibraltar were in. I don't know why. For some reason, I just decided that Rialto has become Dorado.
I used to
I'm
always get those
honestly
two confused
terrified
as
of Cat
well.
on Jib. Yeah, I mean they're both very divey maps, and I mean Cat just reigns. Oh, and we're
Enough said about the map pool. Let's get into the map. And we see here HGI Amber coming out on that Sigma Mizu comp as expected in a Voidless. Going to be a Sim TP out of spawn. I wonder what the flex DPS here is. It's a Genji coming with this ball as well. So this becomes a game of who can keep the Sig off of the high ground and force him into this box where the Cassidy and Genji can sort of play how they want. But it seems like the Sig comp are opting to bunker down here. So before the point opens, we'll really see a turn going in. There's the Mizu chain, misses the rock. That's a lot of bulb cooldowns forced. Now it's their time to walk. And once again here, HI Amber have got the dominant position on point. And they've even got a trade off of it. That's a huge pick to get at the start of the fight here, taking out the enemy tank.
I think HAI Amber is I mean they have to give up the first fight. And I mean they're on poke and they're playing against a much faster comp than theirs. I don't know if they're gonna be struggling to retake the point, but I think they're staggered. Yeah, they're definitely staggering themselves. That is very unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. You get that early pick on the ball, and maybe you invest a little bit too much, and Eclipse, 90% on his ult charge already, really showing that if you just get out of position for a slight second, he's going to take your head off like he did to blast you right there at the end. Going into the second... Go on, sorry.
Sorry, no. I mean, Amber has a Mizuki ult coming up. I mean, the Mizuki ult is pretty powerful, especially into a Cassidy. I mean, it will deny tremendous value from them, and we can see that a Voidless is fighting their way back in. Oh, and Cassidy just got picked off. I do think that this is a lost fight for a Voidless.
Basti gets the better of Eclipse in that situation and fall, and now he's a free Cassidy walking around the map. And when you just have that much aura on that Western Cowboy, you can just walk the enemy team back into their spawn like they have. But there's a lot of ults coming up here. I wonder what the turn's going to be in what order. We do see a ball sneaking around point and under right now.
Now we could be seeing a Nano Blade. Ah, and there it comes.
And that is what we're seeing. The Flux goes wide, doesn't manage to catch it. He does manage to find Fall. That's 2 ults invested for 1 kill. Make it 2. Ilja goes down as well. And now it's just a case of cleaning up. 2 ults, 2 kills, and the Flux even taken away from HGI Amber there. It's a 1-for-2 trade, but a Voidless, you're very happy taking that fight there. That was clean and methodical from them.
Absolutely. I mean, we have 3 ults on both sides. And I'm actually fourth ult coming from Amber. Wonder what they will engage with. Probably with Kitsune. Maybe even Pharah.
He's a sneaky caster around the right side here, Eclipse. He's just trying to keep the fire in check, but it seems he's been caught out. He's been booped off the map even. You got to get your feet on the ground, mister. Suzu comes out from the side of HGI Amber, and we're going to find Basti in the mix as well. And they don't even get point flip out of this. A Voidless, if they can stagger this out, this might even be the final fight. You just need to pick up 1 or 2 kills in the end. They've Fallen trades onto that Ana. That's going to be a support down for a Voidless. But Fallen goes down as well, and it's going to be a really difficult touch down your Cassidy trying to get this final 10% onto the point. It's going to be really awkward here. They do have the Deadeye. They do blast out with the Kitsu instead. It's going to be Kitsu on point. Not really anything to answer it with. They're going to try and beat rush and just force their way inside. But you've got Deadeye. You've got Barrage to look out for, and you've already lost your beat. Deadeye comes out, gets the sleep on it though. Tapioca really showing that this Ana needs to be put in check. Ilja's going to find a pick onto Archer as well, and it's just trade after trade right now. Farah going to get lost as well, but we're trading the Ana for it as well. That's HGI Amber point control. Not have to spend a lot to get it, but they get to fight out the rest of the round, and it's going to be a stagger onto Eclipse here at the end.
I can't believe that they won it. I mean, I wasn't a believer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was definitely a doubter. Unfortunately, Amber only has Flux coming up. Meanwhile, a Voidless has 3 ults, and even you could even count Blade as coming up. I do think a Voidless will absolutely take this point. I mean, all they have to do is just ult dump and get rid of them to finish up the capping the point.
It's on Ilja here to find a pick early with this Flux, because they don't really have an answer to it. It's going to be the Nano Blade. It looks like it's what they're searching for again, but Archer, you just can't quite get the percent to pull it out, and we missed the Flux again. We can't be doing that, Ilja. You're 2 for 2 right now. Archer's going to find 2 kills in your replacement. Resmius is also going to find the pick onto Ilja. It's a 4v1 right now, and Nordic, he might have it in him, but just not right now to 5v1 clutch. And that's going to be first round to a Voidless. Very, very, very convincing for the rest of this series.
Archer is absolutely unstoppable. I mean, I have gotten chills from watching him play Genji. I mean, every Nano Blade I feel like every Nano Blade that he's gonna get and has gotten will always get some value. Oh, we're swapping from Sigma to Maga from HGI Ember. They're swapping up for a faster comp. Oh, never mind, we're going back to Sig. I don't think that Sigma's gonna work against such a fast comp. That ball is just ruining any way of setup that they might have with poke.
Yeah, it seems like by taking this poke style of approach, Ilya recognizes that playing second is slightly better for them, but you're playing third, you're playing fourth, you're not going when you need to. When the enemy makes a turn, you have to punish it instantly, and when you give that half a second for the ball to get out and reset, you lose your momentum and you just get picked off for it, and that's what's happening to HGI Amber here. They just need that little bit more of aggression, and maybe Ilya's recognized that, and going onto the Mal could work, but Ana showing that she's very dangerous into him, gets the nade, gets the sleep, and that's Ilya gone, even picking up a kill onto Fallen as well. That's 2-0 for the side of a Voidless in kills, and look at the ult charge, even getting closer to the ult, and we're going to see a counter swap here from the Malga to the Orisa for HGI Amber.
I mean, 44% from one singular fight is absolutely insane, and it feels like Basti is just having trouble keeping up with Tapioca's nades and Tapioca's pressure that they're applying onto the enemy.
Yeah.
I do believe Eclipse is struggling to deal with Nordic on Pharah just a little tiny bit, but Pharah is absolutely getting punished left and right for any oh, that's a chain. That is a chain of all chains.
Yeah, but the engage is just so smart for a Voidless there. They had 3 separate angles on Ilya, boxed him into the corner, and the second the Orisa's out the fight, ball rolls straight through, and you pick up a kill, make it 2, and it's honestly so well devised of a plan from a Voidless here in how their style of play. Yes, they are the faster comp, but they take so much time setting it up. And if a dive is perfect, it's uncounterable, and that's really the style of play Voidless is going for. But even so, they're looking to change the tempo. Ilya, it's just a bad game, being out by point percentage in terms of ult charge at the moment. But series isn't over yet. He could very well come back into this, especially with Kitsune Rush online. Kusenka's going to drop the minefield in spawn, though, really not wanting to give up any space, and they're able to get away with it. That's 2 picks as well. HGI Amber, you have to recognize that this is your last fight coming up, and you just need to walk out of spawn as a full unit. Let's stop getting these silly picks, and let's show a Voidless that you are a team to be meddled with right now.
I feel like they're trying too hard to play split when they're trying to play brawly. I mean, Brawl is just played together as a unit, and they're struggling because they're getting surrounded.
Beautiful pick onto the Ana. It forces the blade out from them, but he's just not able to get anything. The Suzu is timed perfect, the roll is timed perfect, and then that was a beautiful sequence of things for HGI, but that's exactly what they needed. They only spend 1 ult, and Voidless spend 1 as well, but they lose the fight. But this ball, it's so annoying to try and get off the point. Basti feels pressure to drop the Kitsune just to make something happen, but they're going to lose a Kai in the process. That's 2 picks for the side of a Voidless right now. But Fallen, he gets 2 straight back. He says this fight isn't over yet. They drop the Terror Surge as well, but the healing isn't going to come from the perk. And that's 3 kills on each side. But Voidless has the ball.
Sad.
Beautiful stall there from Pasenkaz, forcing Bassi to just give something for the fight to go on. But it just wasn't enough. That's going to be round 1 to a Voidless. And first round, quite close, but second round shows a dominant performance. I wonder if this is going to be the state of play for the whole series.
I think I have found my favorite player. I think I found my favorite player. I think Fallen is absolutely my all-time favorite. I mean, have you seen those picks?
Well, that
Wow,
was
a switch up
a
from
game.
saying that you were helping AGI earlier.
I mean, we saw from round 1 that a Voidless had outstanding point control, didn't even let Amber even touch. But you know, Amber managing to mirror the point control at the end, but only with an ult dump. So you know, it led to them just crumbling. Their ulti code was in the ground, and a Voidless was able to come back and just go nah. Yeah, it definitely wasn't helping with Ilya's whiffed fluxes. But going into round 2, I think HGI was trying to realize the mistake. They're trying to realize their mistake on, maybe we should play a faster comp as opposed to playing a Sigma. Oh, they run out with the Morga. They want to play that, but they die immediately. So Ilya, I think what happened here was Ilya was like, okay, Morgan didn't work. I'll swap to a character that's much more, stand your ground. Especially with that Arisa change, I'm not sure if we saw that new perk in action, but that Arisa comp fall after fall, and Amber was only able to contest at the very end with a Sanctuary.
I think once they recognized that Brawl was played kind of together, that they started to take the point control. I mean, we could see their hit scan just popping off and feeling a lot more confident. Once that they were all together, once they had a Lucio speed, once they had a Kiri care, once Orisa was around to actually take that pressure off of the DPS so the ball couldn't just roll in and wreak havoc. I think what they were struggling with is recognizing that their tempo was different on like Brawl and Poke are both slower tempos than Dive. Dive is incredibly oppressive, and they just kept splitting for some reason and kept getting not poked off. They kept getting dove. So they were just losing players over and over again and getting staggered, which is very unfortunate. But I do think that around the end, they have started to recognize the strengths of the enemy team and how they should play around it. And I'm very hopeful for the second round of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel just HGI's problem there was they recognized that as a 5 they can walk to places, but they just weren't walking to the correct places. They have an Ana on the side of this very fast divey style of play, but the Ana has no mobility. So if you can just walk at her, you have the Lucio speed boost to get onto her. But it seems when they wanted to box themselves in these enclosed spaces, which does work against other ground-based teams. But you're not against the ground-based teams. You're against a wrecking ball. He's going to go through you every single time. And I really hope that going into this HGI Amber can just recognize that the style of play they want can work. They just need to adapt it slightly into the comp they're against, and they will start seeing kill after kill after kill from them.
Yeah, I mean, I think what yeah, sorry, let me get my words. I think having the Mies key instead of the Lucio, I mean, both have their perks. I mean, Mies got a very, I don't want to say a very minuscule nerf, but he got a reasonable nerf. He got he got a nerf for his binding chain projectile size from 0.35 to 0.3, I believe. And Kadashira Return has had a cooldown nerf, so it's it's gonna remove that kind of aggression that Mizuki and as a whole the team can apply. But I think initially the Mizuki was a good choice, but I think they going into round two they could have I think they could have played the Lucio. What what they needed was some form of not stability, but you saw in round two they were playing a lot more together, a lot more brawling, and with Lucio's speed, you can just immediately zip in, and it
Yeah.
does seem like. Oh, go ahead, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, they
yeah.
no, you're okay. They opted out for poke in the beginning. Unfortunately, poke is exactly what it is. Just keep poking, and it is a very stable kind of comp where you only really go slightly up once you get picks. It is essentially just draining the resources from the enemy team. Unfortunately, team that revolves around being speedy, having Lucio, having Ball, they simply are not gonna stick around and have their resources drained. They're going to back up. I I don't think that poke was the answer for this particular matchup, but they showed Brawl, and I think Brawl might be the answer for that this team is looking for.
Could be. It could be. I just hope that going into this next map, we get one that can favor this Sig comp a lot more. So speaking of next map, let's see if one has already been chosen.
And it seems like we're going to Watch Point Gibraltar. Very interesting pick.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's definitely a map that you can play a lot further back, and you can put a lot more dependency on your hit scan or to play these Ana turns. You've already seen that the team you're up against has a very comfortable Ana, so maybe you strip that away from them and can play something a lot further back so that this ball has to cover so much distance to finally get there, especially if Genji is the preferred flex DPS. Genji does have the ability to go on high ground on this map, which is very, very useful, but he doesn't have the ability to contest cart, and he doesn't have the ability to get onto your backline as quickly and fast. So although this doesn't necessarily fit the style of play that HGI Amber want, it definitely can muddy the water for the style of play that a Voidless wants. So it's a very smart map pick in my opinion, and you take away Escort from the enemy team, which could possibly screw you over with the map picks.
I feel like a Tracer is just a better pick for flex DPS over a Genji. However, if you're playing with a Ball, assuming that Ball is not gonna be banned on, in my opinion, one of the diviest maps in the entire game, not even in just this map pool. I think Tracer is a must. Obviously, Ball is not banned, and Ball stays on point and contests it. I mean, he just infinitely lives. But I don't know. I don't agree that Tracer I don't agree with that Genji would be the optimal pick on Gibraltar. I am hoping to see some monkey action from Ember.
Shall we have a look at the bans? Because
I think that might be
you two were
wonderful.
talking about how the characters were, how said hero can affect each team, and we're seeing Amber doing like having a target pick here for the wrecking ball and a voidless taking away that Kiriko. So realistically, we can see anything here. We've seen crazy comps on Gibraltar. One that I remember, it was the Overwatch World Cup. I think it was training. Team Britain, Team Great Britain, sorry. in one of their training games, they played Wu Yang Iari on attack. That is a crazy backline, especially for such a well Lucio heavy comp that it was at the time.
Yeah, but I think you introduce a lot more poke in that, which is something that you sort of desperately need if you're trying to run a monkey or a ball or a tank that can't really just delete people on their own, such as Malgra or Hazard. But I really do feel here that the ball ban isn't going to be as impactful as they more or less want it to be, because ball isn't a character that you can just get good on. You've had to run yourself through the races to get good on different characters first before going to ball. So allowing the Kiriko ban and allowing this very comfortable and dominant Ana that we saw before to get played on Gibraltar here, Amber might have set themselves up for a bit of a shot in the foot here, but we are going to see Winston coming out from Ilya at least. One team's playing Monkey. I'm sure that can make you happy, Mary. But avoid this. They're going to stay with the D.Va, and look, they've got a very far backline here with a Widow, a Lari, and Ana. This is a beautiful thing if Monkey can get on top of it, but I feel like D.Va's job here is to just let their backline live. Force that Monkey out, and when Monkey's bubble is gone, then it's your turn as D.Va Genji, which is a dangerous dive to go up against. It's going to be a lot of pressure on Basti here to keep this D.Va out of check, and that's even if the D.Va is going for the Ana in this situation. So it's a very volatile matchup here. Both teams have some very, very dominant things that they can do to the other, so I'm just excited to see who can catch the other one out first as the game begins.
I think the Nayari pick is very interesting over here. I mean, we shall see. And Amber over here has like the diviest of the dive comps that I've ever seen. I think every single one of these characters is common for Gibraltar.
Yeah, absolutely. We just see some poke here in the early stages. Fallen on the Freya. You're looking to get 1 or 2 bolts in. You call it to Ilya, and it can bring out some devastation on the backline. Already the monkey set up on the right there, but he's got to be careful. Almost gets his head taken off there, but fires a headshot back over to Eclipse. These hit scans are being dangerous to one another right now. But all it takes is one mistake. Eclipse can take your head. Bubble's going to get forced for Ilya. But Point, it's already gone underneath. They've given up a full fight's worth of progress already for absolutely nothing. Amber need to really step things up here and be more dominant on this high and be a bit more aggressive here if they want to keep themselves in this and not just lose the point to progress.
I actually think that a void list might actually struggle a bit more into the monkey comp that they're running. I think D.Va is just gonna struggle keeping up against the monkey, and Freya is absolutely amazing at deleting everything that she sees. I mean, especially with the recent buffs. I think it has really brought her back into the meta. However, Akai is getting some pressure on D.Va. And
yeah, a lot of half health bars here for either side right now, and it's going to be a really good nade onto Ilya, but Razius gives up his life from it. Beautiful boulder shot from Fallen there. They're going to pop the Captive Sung in response. Fallen does get traded out of here, and currently you're up 1 if you're on the side of a Voidless. You need to get another kill, and that's a devastating pick on Ilya, just off 3% off of his primal rage. It's going to allow Voidless to clean up, and now they just have to stay steadfast going into this. Oh, look at this hold. 3 people up front. They don't expect Eclipse to be there. Bang, bang, bang. The Revolver 6-shooter shows why it was the King of the West, and he takes another head from Fallen here.
I think a Void List is being like very oppressive, and we have a Nana Primal happening right now. Would that be enough to stop them from capping? I don't think so.
Going to cause a lot of devastation on the point. It's going to allow your Brig to get there, who now has Rally. And Ilya and Akai, they've got picks of their own. They're getting quite devastating damage here, and there's a Pusenka in your backline, and you just got to clear them out, possibly even stagger them, but you do have to leave this Brig on point. Dangerous situation here. Eclipse and Pusenka can kind of win this by just waiting out the clock and finally engaging on the point together. We already see Tapioca up there just raining hellfire from the top rows, and now we see the D.Va coming in from behind. The deflex is going to get forced on Archer, but the Nano comes out. We've seen him deadly with the blade. He's just got to get it, pulls it out. There is a Rally trying to stop him, but I think he just has to scare them into a box, which is exactly what he's done. Sometimes you don't need the kill credit, you just need the point progress, and that's what they get. A Voidless here, take first point with very little kills, but very surgical action. Kind of going for a 1-fight-1 win and just having these little skirmishes on the outside to win their space.
It is truly unfortunate to see that Amber has invested all of their ultimates to keep that point, and a Voidless has only invested like 2 was it Blade and Nano, I'm pretty sure. D.Va still has her bomb since their second push. Amber is definitely losing the ult fight over here, but we shall see if they're gonna recognize that the Voidless just has a more fragile backline. They may be able to turn this around.
Fragile or not, though, we've seen Tapioca and Rasmus be absolutely deadly, especially when Bassie's going to get the head taken. Fallen, though, every bowler he's shot has gotten a kill, and it's really keeping Amber in the fight here. A lot of half health on the side of them, but they do manage to get the better of a Voidless in this fight. It's going to be a reset from them now. This is a very, very dominant spot for Brig Anna to be set up here inside this ship. It's hard for anyone to come up, but Ilya, don't throw away too many resources now. Get slept in the front line, but manages to get out, and that's a nano for Amber coming up.
Oh, we have
fire it already. Nano Monkey into the front line. He's going to find Tapioca, but Archer finally gets the trade on Fallen. He's not going to get another bowler and pick in this fight. Dashes straight up onto Basti up top, and Tapioca gets another kill as well. They're going to nano Noon in the backline here. So terrified of Ilya's Primal. I'm not sure if this was necessary to drop 2 ults into not even 1 kill. And is Ilya going to get out as well? A Voidless, you had a big bank and you just sort of taken from it all at once. You're not going to have much going into this last fight. When he does avoid this only with a remech if needed, as the fight seems to reset. But Ilya gets caught out again. He's just a bit too aggressive. He doesn't seem to know when the fight starts or ends, and it's always just go, go, go. And Fallen living up to his name, dropping straight onto the enemy Cassidy. Archer going to clean it up though, and now it's a D.Va in your backline that you're going to take care of. They're going to take Basti down, and it's going to be a drawn out death for Akaya here, as not many meters left. Rasmus, beautiful headshot. Ilya forced out, and that's going to be second point for a Voidless with 2 minutes 45 on the clock to push into third.
That was very unfortunate. We have another Blade coming up. I mean, Archer has proven that every single Blade will get value no matter what. And D.Va still has not used her bomb since point 1. It is incredible to see, honestly, the survivability. I mean, I don't know if it's D.Va's plays or just supports being absolutely goated. We have invested Rally, however. Was it really worth? We shall see.
Seems to be. They do get a pick for it, and they get to keep this position, which is amazing if you want Akai to be as far back as possible. He just needs to find his way to the high ground now, so that his D.Va's time is much, much worse. But this is a beautiful, beautiful angle for Fallen. He's got 3 different options here. He can stand on high ground if he wants to poke far into your backline, which this Widowmaker has been shown to be deadly before. But Eclipse sneaking around the right side. Nogget gets his recall forced early. Maybe the new changes to the recall can get him back online, but Eclipse finds Fallen in the chaos. Maybe with assist from Tapioca there, as now the high ground is for a Voidless, and Eclipse is raining fire into the enemy backline. That's 3 kills from him in this fight. Make it 4 with Akai in the end. Beautiful.
Unfortunately, Amber is falling behind on the ultimates. They don't really have anything to really contest a Voidless. I mean, they have 4 ultimates online right now. I'm expecting another Nano Blade, I'm not gonna lie to you, and probably a D.Va Bomb to secure the point at the end.
Yeah, here it comes out. Speak his name and the devil shall come. Nano Blade going into the backline, but the spawn door seems to be his biggest enemy. He can't go any further, manages to pick up 2 anyway. Nano Cassidy is all that Amber can really throw out to the point to contest, and it doesn't matter how many perks you give to Cassidy's role, he's not surviving that. And a Voidless take the map with just under a minute on the timer, but very, very convincing that they're the more comfortable team on this dive here.
A Voidless has not used the D.Va ultimate at all for the entirety of that game. That is quite impressive.
What use is a second life if you never die? Fusenka really showing their discipline right now, never getting it forced.
I wonder if Amber will swap up their game plan. I mean, they just seem to be getting out-dived at this point. A Voidless is just relentless about it. They keep walking it on the backline, and Genji allows them to just absolutely blast through there. But we're seeing not Genji anymore. We're seeing Xion. Xion Bastion, actually.
Yes, a lot more different to the fast style of play. Maybe Eclipse wasn't feeling the Widowmaker. Didn't get many highlight reel plays until they went over to the Cassidy. So maybe this Bastion pick is just to have a lot more survivability on this first fight, make it get drawn out, especially when you have the Juno Beam and the Nano to recontest later on. This team is filled with really decent ultimates on a point like this, even if it's an unconventional team. Amber, they need to recognize that they've got the stronger backline here in terms of sustain, and as long as Ilya can just be a little bit more disciplined and take the turns when they actually have an advantage, they'll stop getting picked early and stop losing fights just to a Monkey getting too aggressive, and maybe this D.Va pick might be the change they need to just survive a couple more seconds.
Now we have swapped the D.Va mirror. We shall see if that goes better for Amber rather than the Monkey. Tracer is on the cart, and we have a D.Va battle happening down on main. Huh? Well, no, it's on height.
Yeah, absolutely, but I believe Ilya, once again, slightly too misdisciplined, gets naded and D-mech straight away, but is anyone looking at Cart right now? Nordig. She's on a grand heist. We saw last time that Avoidless was able to steal the car all the way under, but I do believe Nordig has still gone unchecked. Someone, please look, there is a Tracer on your cart. It won't make any more sound until you look at it. This is highway robbery right now. Watchpoint Gibraltar needs a new security system. It looks like maybe the Juno's caught on, has turned around, but no, absolutely
they have not realized.
Returning from spawn, finally gets the contest, but you don't need a fight when you have robbers like that on your team. Nordig gets away with everything
insane.
there. Avoidless are forced to fight on the point now. Eclipse does manage to get the pick onto Fallen, finds another one, a headshot onto Akai, but Akai trades out with the dot damage. And although kills are still in the favor of Avoidless and Ultimates are, they get the back cap entirely! What on earth is this? Amber recognizing that maybe they can't take the head-on-head dive, but they don't need to when you have macro like that. Send your distraction onto high ground, Tracer will do the rest. And even looking at ult charge, they're going to get the first nano turn as well. And Pusenka, as good as they are at building this bomb, we've shown that they're not necessarily the ones to pull the trigger on it. And I do believe this first nano turn could be devastating, especially when Fallen finds a pick like that onto Eclipse. Gets traded though, but Ilya's going to find the beautiful pick onto Tapioca in the backline. It's going to really slow down that ult charge. And Ilya keeps going now. Maybe his aggression, when he does get that advantage, can show to be devastating. Pusenka holds onto the bomb, recognizes now isn't the time to first use it in this entire match. And the first win that HGI Ember get in a fight is on second point.
I do think that Avoidless might have gotten a little cocky with how they've been dominating this match, and I think Amber has recognized that and decided, hey, you know what? Like, we're just gonna play what we play, and we're gonna play it better. We're just gonna lock in, and I think they're gonna cap again. That is absolutely insane. They have 5.5 minutes on the clock, and they're already past the second point.
Fallen showing how devastating his bolus has been, finds a pick in the late fight, but Ilya, he's gonna drop them, drops the bomb to try and keep the tempo up, but Eclipse, this Cassidy is devastating. Can we talk about that? Every time we've seen this Westerner on screen, it has been ugly. And now Basti even pops the rally and gets taken. Beautiful pulse bomb though onto Razmir, and I think the fight is slowly stabilizing now. 4v4 though, Tapioca drops the beam, they're gonna get brawly with it, takes down Fallen with the little blaster. Eclipse trades onto Akai as well. Ilya does find Eclipse, this key cowboy in the fight, but I think they just lost too many numbers with Amber. Favored spawns, but I think Avoidless get to choose where this next fight is gonna happen.
Amber, oh no, that is so unfortunate. Amber has just lost their tempo. I do hope that this is not gonna be detrimental to their push. They've been doing so well. Oh, they swapped Symmetra. I'm always excited to see Symmetra. Symmetra is like my favorite hero ever. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And Fallen has so far been my favorite player in this entire match. I'm very excited to see if they're gonna do something with it.
Yeah, maybe so. It allows your Ana break to get set up where they want to, and I think they recognize that if they just take a reset. You saw all their huddling spawn, but Nordig goes out a little bit too fast and gets caught out there. This is Nano Shion in your backline, not quite as potent as the blade, but Archer shows he does not need the blade to get kills. Picks up 3%, Senka comes with the force, all headshots with the Nano there. And now Archer's gonna have this spree going into the next fight. A lot of ultimates on the side of Avoidless, but a lot of time they have to stall out before HGI Ember are out of this map.
Avoidless definitely has the ult advantage. I mean, they have Shion ult coming up, and they've had High Noon and D.Va Bomb for a while now. Meanwhile, Amber has swapped off of D.Va back onto Monkey. I do wonder how that will work out for them.
Spawnhole doesn't quite go in the favor. We saw Eclipse there, third person peeking around the corner, but it's Archer who's going to get taken out coming from Spawn right now. Maybe Eclipse can slow things down with this thing, but it looks like they're just favoring to give up some positioning to let Rasmus get into a safe point in the backline, but there's an Ilya there as well. It's quite scary and gets taken down. Doesn't have Primal, doesn't really have any nano or support going from it. It's just going to be an anti-nade to take him out. And now a Voidless, Archer in particular, showing how deadly this Xion is on this last map. Wasn't quite potent on the first, didn't quite get where he wanted on the second, but last map is Xion's playground and Archer is taking full advantage of it right now.
Our Void list has 5 ults coming up, and it's going to be a very tough fight for Amber to actually win these fights unless they wait for a Void list to go first. I mean, they don't really have much of a choice. If they invest first, they're just gonna get out ulted. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of space that Amber needs to cover by the time they get into this. Oh, I see what you mean with Tapioca's ult getting right there. Gonna swap to the Zen though. Might even be preferable. They drop the nano, they drop the spree, and that's all they need. Archer, absolutely vicious. Showing that Genji is not the one-trick pony that we were maybe getting made out to be in the first map. And just goes straight into your backline, picks up 2, and now it's just a game of cleanup. Ilya staying disciplined now, doesn't want to trade his life to Eclipse, just needs to get out, boost out. The D.Va hunting him down, but also just backing up as well. And that was a very, very expensive fight for a Voidless, and although you were saying they had a huge bank, now it's Amber who are going to have 3 ultimates going into this next fight against the Solemn single bomb. Tapioca shows you don't need ultimates to get kills, takes out Ilya of all people on the Zenyatta. Beautiful things there. It's going to be 2 for 2 trades. Basti finally gets a third to put things in favor of Amber.
We have a rally from very far away from the point. I don't know how I feel about that.
Unless you can maybe get a late pick onto this D.Va to force the D-Mech, but doesn't quite make it. Had the bomb as well, just in case. Nordic needs to watch his health bar. He's getting caught out a few times in this fight right now. And Ilya, we need something from this Primal. Get extremely aggressive here, but what comes down, he's straight onto your backline. The Zen ult, though, so devastating. Eclipse finds Nordic, but Akai trades onto the Archer. That's both flex DPSs down right now. Ilya, you have the Primal. It's time to get aggressive, son. It's time to get in there. Eclipse found in Narnia? What's he doing all the way over there? Fall is just going to clean that up straight up. And now we have a full Soul Trail with a monkey dive. But Archer finds Ilya. What is going on? It seems like picks are just coming out of Fairyland as Archer picks up 2 once more. This Zen orb maybe is this deciding factor they needed. It's the gambit that a Voidless were playing for with the Xion as well, who's now fully scaled, but Nordic's going to put them in their place. They need to reset right now, Amber. They've got 30 seconds. This is going to be last fight, and they just need to wait. 30% coming up on 2 of their ults that they need against a Voidless 4, possible 5 in this last fight.
I genuinely think this is incredibly winnable for Amber if they just lock in and decide that, hey, we're not out of this competition yet. We're gonna do this better. And I just think they've been holding for that Primal for too long. Unfortunately, 4 of the players of Amber get picked off. Did they even get to recontest? Maybe with the Primal? Oh no. That's gonna be it for Gibraltar. A Voidless has won. That was a very exciting game and very promising from Amber. I genuinely believed that it was going to be a reverse sweep. And Archer gets play of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it
Not
was
really surprised.
highlight reel after highlight reel for this kid. 303 levels on Genji, and shows that Xion can do it just as well. Yeah, this was the nano clip. Look at these beautiful shots. Half of Anna's health gone in a single clip. And yeah, beautiful game there from a Voidless.
Oh, Amber, you're
sorry, I forgot to mute. Sorry, I forgot to unmute. That was nuts. Just seeing that, round 1 being, semi-standard. We saw a Voidless on attack, saw a double flex backline. Not traditional, but, it can work. Like I was, like I was saying before the map, we saw, my example of Iari Wuyang. Amber starting textbook Gibraltar dive. That's fine. Eclipse being a monster with Cassidy. We saw a glimpse of that on the map on Oasis, but it was nuts. Archer pressuring Amber to off of the point, leading to first point being snatched away from them, and HGI being pressured off of second point as well. It led to the point where they were not spawn camping, but they were being very up close and personal. near to the end of round 1. And then we just see hijinks on round 2. We saw Amber, dittoing their round 1 composition, but Avoidless doing this almost experimentation with Diva, Shion, Bastion, Juno, Ana. Nordic with the Tracer taking a total back cap on first point and then snowballing into, Amber taking second point as well, with them having 4 minutes on the bank to take, for them to get to round 3. And, we saw things like Fallen going to Symmetra, most likely to help with positioning the supports, and a Voidless responds with a spawn camp. We saw them just holding right in front of them, forcing Ilya onto a more comfortable pick. Going to the Winston, and then the last few parts we see a Juno Jax, Tapioca going to Zenyatta, Fallen going to Sojin, and then Basti with a very, very aggressive rally. But it just didn't seem like it was enough.
Yeah, neither team really wanted to play that first point Gibraltar far back poke. We saw the Widow come out from Eclipse to maybe just get that pick and force the fight win there. But just put the Cassidy in the bag. That was brilliant stuff. When you've got a Cassidy player like that on your team, play to your strengths. And even when you do pull out the 6-shooter, you are spawn camping. There's no hiding it. They were pushing their spawn. Cassidy was third person peeking around the side there. That was some very, very aggressive play there and a very good snowball. We're going to see some stats here now. And I mean, they speak for themselves. 30 kills, 30 kills, 30 kills, 30 kills. 4 of the 5 members for a Voidless there getting highlight reels amount of kills over Amber, pushing into the enemy spawn and really making life miserable for Amber coming out of third point spawn room there. Very, very dominant from a Voidless that map.
I mean, Ilya is actually kind of impressive. I mean, if you look at the damage done, Ilya has done 14,000 damage. It is incredible, honestly, to be said. I mean, not to take it away from a Voidless. The Voidless has also that they have 17,000 damage, but considering how much Amber was actually struggling to push through a Voidless on the first map, on the first half, it is absolutely phenomenal. I must say, on the brighter note, that I'm very disappointed in my goats Amber. They have not emoted a single time. And meanwhile, we have a void list over here with 6 emotes from 3 of their players. It is absolutely sad to see this happen. Amber, we need to pick it up. At least on this account.
Well, it seems like your wish has been granted because we have a map and we have the map pick and bans. Like almost immediately after the second one, and we're going to Runa Sapi. How are you two feeling with this?
Sapi being a push map, maybe we're going to see the Sigma come out once again from Amber, recognize that maybe they just want to play what they want to play, take it slow. But I feel like one thing you need to recognize is that this Ana has gone unchecked twice now, and these nano turns especially have been the deciding factor in many of these fights when it comes to Amber's downfall. So I really want to see a band that can not necessarily just take Ana out of the game, but shut down what she's trying to do, either targeting a Voidless flex DPS choices, maybe forcing them onto the Genji for the slightly worse ultimate, but clearly a much more comfortable play. It's really hard to ban against a team like a Voidless when they've shown you throughout the map their flexibility and what they're willing to do when it comes to getting a win.
I actually beg to differ. I think that here we're gonna see some Cat Ana action. I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm willing to place down a bet with you that we shall see Ana at one point. No, not Ana.
I hope we don't see Castian. I hope we don't see Castian. I heavily dislike that composition.
I don't like Castian either, but I do feel like Ana on Runasapi. Not, oh my god, I keep saying Ana instead of Cat. I do feel like Cat on Runasapi might actually make an appearance. Genuinely.
I mean, let's have a look at the bands. See what the teams have been going on. And Amber target banning the Bastion and a Voidless getting rid of the Mizuki.
There's no Castian.
I mean, There's no Castion. You're right, but we could very well see the cat in action.
This is the casting map. If they were going to pull it out on any map, this is the map to do it. But I think Mizuki's a very smart ban from a void list right now. They recognize what style of play Amber's going to be going for, and they've shut it down immediately. They're not too scared about the Sigma pick, but that Mizuki pick was definitely a pain in the backside for the ball player for a void list. So very smart bans from both. Seems like more of a premonition ban coming from Amber, but this is the Cat Bastion map, so this is the time to ban it if you were, especially if you're going to go for this reverse sweep.
Wonder if we're gonna be seeing the sick comp now that Mizuki is gone from the from the options. I'm so sorry, I keep stuttering. And we have our compositions. We're running Pharah Ryan, no less.
Is that do my eyes deceive me? Sexy Reinhardt on stream?
Yes, sexy Reinhardt.
This is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
We do see on a void list that absolutely toxic and ruining comp of Zen Ana that it makes everyone's lives miserable.
True, but if you're going to run anyone into it, a Ryan Brawl comp is what you need in terms of just running on to the backline here. So Amber might have accidentally picked a comp that is devastating for a void list here. Maybe they pulled it out when they took the ban onto Cat Bastion. Tapioca is forced to take these really, really wide angles. And without a really flanky style flex DPS, he kind of can play that game. But a beautiful sleep onto Nordic. Rasmius just puts him in a box, picks up a second kill as well. Make it 3. Oh. That Ana, I've been saying it time and time again, you need to put them in check or they will just delete your whole team like that. 30% for the Nano, 40% for the Spree, and a win for a Violence.
It just comes down to Ember recognizing that they need to just make this Ana not be able to play the game, honestly. Just let them have an awful time. Otherwise, you're just going to be having an awful time. I mean, this backline, if there's a punishing backline, it's this one. Once you see ball engage, you just have to go in on them if you want to have a turn. Otherwise, you're just gonna get deleted.
And ball running amok right now. Picks up 2 kills in the pre-fight. Doesn't even allow a fight to happen. That might be checkpoint gone already. Pusenkas had what, 17,000 damage last map? I think he's trying to break a record and go for even higher this time, as that's checkpoint already for a Voidless. We hear the sleep that doesn't manage to connect, but that's Ilya on such low HP, and his Kiriko can't get there. Suzu force, TP force, it's ball's time to go in, picks up a kill, he's still hunting down this Kiriko. Tapioca does get traded in the end, but that's 3 picks to the side of a Voidless right now. The Boop trying to send him off. I thought with the hook getting cancelled there, it might have been on the way for an environmental kill on Ball of all people, but sadly not. And ultimates are online now, and we're already past checkpoint, less than 2 minutes into this map.
A Voidless definitely has the lead over. I mean, they have Xion ult, they have Nano, they have Ball ult. It is incredible. I mean, Amber really only has High Noon coming up to go against this. I think it's looking like a 3-0, and Xion ult has been
out. And with Suzu forced
true.
early, it's going to connect onto the backline. It's going to find 3 total. Eclipse just picking off at Ilya in the mid fight, just as he can. And beautiful shots from Arch there onto Nordic. I can't pick a favorite player for a Voidless right now, as all of them are having moment after moment of game-winning play from them. But Amber not giving up yet. Running this Reinhardt clears the top space immediately. It's going to be the high ground Fallen, but Fallen gets caught out in the back. And Tapioca has a devious angle right now. They send the Reinhardt to go clear it. Gets the pin, but doesn't quite get the wall splat. And that's so much damage already. This Reinhardt's at about 50 HP. Huseika's going to clean that up almost immediately. He's going to try and find a Kai who's running around trying to pick him up. Hellpack's already been taken, and a bank shot nade from nowhere takes out a Kai there. Eclipse showing that he can play any hit scan he wants. He's not just a Cassidy player. He can pull out the Emre. And although there's a little bit of a stall from Nordic onto the point, it's still in a Voidless favor, and they're still going to keep getting mileage on the track. 100 meters up right now, just over 3 minutes into this match. It's going to be hard for Amber to come back from this, especially when Pusenka finds 2 with the help of Archer. Ilya just seems like he's running after rabbits right now, not able to pick anything up. But cat progress slow down slightly. Reinhardt does connect onto Eclipse, but he has those jumps to get out. He's going to have to rotate back to point for the sake of someone needs to touch it. And Fallen finding trouble in his own spawn right now, but I do believe that's a reset, and next fight's going to start. But Eclipse pops the ult. Tempo keeps going up. He's not even giving me a break. Basti gets caught out there. Looks like Suzu was forced a little bit too early. Akai gets a trade onto Archer, but the Xian for the side of Amber is also forced down. Beat keeps Ilya alive through the anti-nade. That might be the ultimate they need, but Ilya's still got no health. If someone comes and hunting him down right now, he'll be a sitting duck. He's just trying to keep himself on the cat to stop any more progress. And Pusenka doesn't need a kill, just keeps booping them off. Trank comes out from Tapioca. Looks like he was going for a spawn hold and finally gets caught out. Avoidlish seem to be playing with their food right now, just dancing above this Reinhardt, but he is taking point away. Amber, we've seen what they can do if go unchecked on this payload and possibly steal it away from the enemy right now, but things are starting to slow down, and as they do, 2 more picks of the DPS coming from Amber right now. It's going to be Tapioca and Eclipse down. Now Archer as well. It's just the ball and the Ana, but that's a duo that can survive on point for a long time. Ring around the rosy as Pusenka is just stalling. A couple more seconds from Amber, but we're finally going to see a fight at mid. Mine's come out early to try and pick something out, but Pusenka, he's living in glory days right now. I don't know how he thought that would work at all. And that's an extra ultimate for Amber going into this next fight.
Unfortunately, Amber also invested their shatter for this. I don't really agree with that choice. I can't lie to you. I feel like Amber has already fallen behind, and sacrificing shatter like that might have actually been detrimental. I mean, it really comes down to how Amber is going to use their Kitsune. Basti has been having an absolutely awful time getting picked off over and over and over again. I mean, they're making sure that their Kiriko is just getting no playtime, and I feel like Amber should take that page out of Avoidless's book. I mean, they need to check the supports. It really only comes down to that.
Yeah. Mid-fight goes to the side of Avoidless. Basti taken down, but that's 2 ultimates going for Amber here, and I mean, Kitsu and Spree can be devastating, especially when you don't really have an ultimate that can stop that from happening. It's going to be on Eclipse here to find something fast, dirty, and early against. Spree comes out from falling. He's already lost so much health, though. Everyone seems to be half off. Akai is going to be the first one to find a pick onto Eclipse. There's going to be no Emre ult going into this fight, but it needs to be a game of cleanup, and neither team's managed to sweep it under the rug. Both of them are just scrambling right now. It's going to be a recall force for Nordic, and he's such low health. Finds a health pack. Doesn't matter about the flanker changes, and whilst this is all happening in the chaos amidst it all, Amber gets point control, and Nordic even gets a late pick onto Tapioca. This is going to be a fight for checkpoint coming up from the side of Amber.
Eclipse has given up Emerald to swap the Tracer. It is a...
Just need that little bit more speed, maybe. It's double flex versus double flex DPS right now, and Rasmus once again showing that he can hold his own in the backline. Send 2 flex CPSs, send 3 if you need to. Rasmus will still come out on top. Finding 2 going into this fight. It's going to be on Amber here to get out with their lives so they can keep things going. 3 minutes on the clock, entirely doable for Amber, especially with the ults that they've got now. They just need to keep things going. Fallen, early pick onto Tapioca, slowing down that beat charge even more. There's going to be nothing going into this fight, but still, nothing's happening on the point. Avoidless so smart to take this into a fight where Amber are going to have to keep on walking to try and get anything going. Almost taking it to their spawn. They had a spawn hold last time, they're going for it again. Akai drops the beat just to keep his life alive, and that's a big shatter. Pusenka gonna go down from that. They find another picker monster as well as Archers on respawn. And it doesn't matter about the anti, it's just too little too late as they're chasing down this Ana pick now. But once again, all this has happened not on point, and Ilya, you've got a shield, mate. You just got to right click to pull it up. Just takes far too much damage running down the Ana there. Maybe gets a little bit too big for his boots. And that's going to be 2 picks against Amber here. Make it 3 as Avoidless come out from hell and get the repicks that they needed going into this fight. Archer picks up 2 at the end. They do trade Eclipse rate, but that's once again point control for Avoidless. And I feel like Amber just let it slip there. They had the fight win. They just had to go to point and push it. And instead, we've got a full HP Reinhardt dying to an Ana. What happened there?
I think Amber is just failing to recognize that they need to stable. I mean, they've lost fights where they have been 1 or 2 up, which is very unfortunate for them.
Oh, beautiful mechanics there from Archers to shut down Nordic before he can even recognize he needs to recall. Tries to get out of his life now. There's a ball after him and gets a fadeaway shot onto Archer. Even he's surprised to get that one. So surprised that Pusenka gets the better of him. That's both Shion's down right now. Beat drop from Avoidless. They're looking to go fast and deep here, or maybe it's a big bait. They force them all into the corner, and that's going to be checkpoint almost Nordic gets there just in time, steals it away again. This fight seems to be happening everywhere, but it's everywhere that a Voidless wants it to be, as even though they're in the scrambles, they seem to be in control. Tapioca does go down though, ults on both sides right now, and with a stun onto Prusenko, he does manage to get pinned, but they find the trade in the end. It's tank for your Ana, and with a spree coming out from Archer, no one's really able to get away. It's 3 picks for a Voidless. But in the midst, they keep changing everything up. Amber steals the bot once again. Point goes to mid, and although Voidless is winning, they don't get any mileage off it. It seems like Amber's strategy here is to lose fights to push car, and a Voidless seems to win fights and never push it. Really, the test of the macro here between these two teams.
I mean, Amber is kind of in a rush to get the card progress. Meanwhile, a Voidless is actually... It's actually... I forgot the word. They're benefiting from the fact that, you know, the card is not being pushed because they're not losing any progress realistically. I mean, even if Amber does gain some progress, they're not losing any of theirs, and they're essentially just making sure that they're winning. And Voidless has once again split Amber up and just picked them off methodically one by one.
Yeah.
I think this is a 3-0.
Overtime now. Amber do have the numbers advantage going into this, but they just have no control near the objective. All of them being forced out of spawn, Fallen not quite there to get it in time. And yeah, 3-0 for a Voidless. Surgical in their performance there.
That is very, very unfortunate. I was so rooting for Amber, unfortunately. I mean, a Voidless is just both mechanically better, and they seem to be a lot more coordinated in what it is that they want to do. I think Amber has a long way before they're able to catch up to a team that is a Voidless, honestly.
Yeah, Voidless.
That was a fun set. So not just to watch, but to, you know, I was taking notes that entire time, and I wasn't able to get much from that game because of how much was going on. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I am astounded with how that set went.
It was crazy.
It was. Sorry.
I was getting
mean,
lost in my words time and time again. When I thought one thing happened, another thing happened on the other side of the map. Crazy hectic fight to see from an overview standpoint. I'm sure the players were feeling the pressure there as well. But at the end of the day, a Voidless just seem to be the better players at taking the fights where they want them to happen and always taking it first. They always seem to be the aggressors in these fights. And when you can be the faster team, you're always going to catch the enemy off guard. And all you have to do is cycle once, and then your second cycle is so much more potent and devastating. And it was like listening to a sheet of music with how beautiful and fluent it was going from one fight to another watching that team.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
Go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was just about to read out my notes of how the beginning of the fight we had Amber run a almost classic brawl, except for Nordic being starting on that Pharah and Avoid running this almost experimental again with the experimental comps. Shion, Emre, Hamta, Zen, and Ana. We very rarely see Emre anymore, and seeing how far they went with that. But I mean, Avoid snowballed all the way to 130 meters just for Amber to stall them. But they knew at that point, they knew that they could just stall. Because if they stalled the neutral, then that's game for them. And we saw that, you know. And it is nuts to see how much pressure a Voidless was putting on Amber here. And I think Amber just didn't know what to do with so much pressure, because typically, you know, with the fights we've seen today, it wasn't so much that the entire team's dead, let's regroup. It was more so, oh, they've picked 2 people off, let us fall back, and then they regroup from there. And it snowballed. You know, that enabled a Voidless to get so much control. Not just on Runasapi, but on Gibraltar as well. And I think that might be something that going forward Amber might need to look into, you know, for them to be able to stand their ground and not have that fear of just not having that fear of, oh, I've got a massive mechanical ball running to rolling towards me, let me walk back.
Yeah, absolutely. I was confused when they were first leaving the bot in the center of the map there, but they were leaving it there to take fights on the opponent's side of the map, so they just had that extra mileage to go, and they don't have to worry about contesting point. When there's not a point to contest, it forces the team to split up, to have to take someone to push the cart by themselves, and you've already diagnosed a 4v1 that this cycle comp is just going to run through over and over and over again. You take one less person's resources to worry about. And yeah,
I think I
beautiful.
think a huge factor that we have to acknowledge over here was probably Amber's mental. I mean, I don't know if you've had any experience of just getting rolled by a really, really fast comp and how demoralizing it can absolutely feel. I mean, me and Holden, we have a first-hand experience with Connectin Circus. I mean, it was absolutely horrifying. I mean, you go in there and you're trying to do something, and especially considering that we were a brawl team, and it doesn't matter what you do, you are just they're just mechanically better and they're just faster than you, and it can really take a toll. Even the fights that you're supposed to win, you no longer can understand how you can win. So the mental goes down. You start to blame yourself. You start to blame your teammates, and you can absolutely get lost in all of that. And I do wish to see Amber again, and I do hope that they're gonna show what they're made of in probably a better matchup. I think this was a case of just a really bad comp matchup against them. And I mean, Avoid List has absolutely blown me away. I mean, if we look at the stats, if we look at the gameplay overall, they have just played this phenomenally. They made sure that supports could not play the game. They made sure to isolate the DPS, to methodically just cut people that posed a danger to them. I mean, Fallen was completely cut off from doing anything half of the time. I mean, they just made sure that he could not be sustained by the time that he got to play his turn. They just played first, and Amber didn't really stabilize. And I genuinely do believe that the lack of stabilizing and the lack of just taking a breath comes from the fact that, oh no, we're losing. These guys are just better than us, and getting lost in that anxiety and whatnot. So they were just losing fights that they realistically should have won. And Avoid List did a really good job of recognizing that and punishing that.
Yeah, it can
Yeah,
be
I mean,
very, very stressful at this level of play. But GG's to both teams. That was phenomenal from both of them there. Definitely clips that you could get for either side right there. It's just this time Avoidless came out on top. And good luck to Amber trying to get into the playoffs here.
I mean, if you two were to say, one thing about, just one sentence about today's set, how would you describe it?
I'm gonna let Holden go first.
You say sentence or word?
Yeah, a word or a sentence, or like something like quick and snappy for our people with low attention span. Those who have been scrolling through TikTok in the background. I see
I
you.
think controlled chaos is the best way to put it, especially with the style of play that Avoidless were going for, making these fights constant, drawn out, but every single time they seem to be on top. They really were just putting Amber in a spiral there. So yeah, controlled chaos is what I'd say.
Oh, I don't know what I would say. I think it was just unlucky, honestly. I I I I don't really I don't know. My brain has stuck. I was not prepared for this question. I'm not gonna lie to you, Amber. You kind of caught me with my with my pants down. I don't really know.
Oh, I gotta surprise you. I gotta jump you.
Of course, of course. Should
So,
we
are you going with
discuss
unlucky
MVPs?
then?
Yeah, I think I'm going with unlucky.
All right. On that note, I say we say our goodbyes. I mean, I'd like to thank both of the casters here, Holden and Mary. We, our two beautiful observers in the background, Yafa and Zeus, and we've got Ebroth bringing this whole thing together as the producer. So I'd like to thank everyone being here, and you guys for watching as well. I mean, we've got We got there's so many other places you can watch our content as well. We've got Twitter, we've got YouTube. Our VODs get sent onto YouTube, and of course you can catch us on Twitch, which is where you're watching this now. You can watch past VODs, catch up on a team that you've missed out on. But I think that is everything.
Wait, no, it's
What?
not everything. I call a veto. I want to vote for MVP. I don't know if you guys want, but I want
Sorry, I
MVP
forgot
for
about that.
both.
Yeah, MVP.
It's okay. That's why I'm here. Well, I think that overall MVP was definitely Eclipse. I do think Archer was very close, but I do think Eclipse has just pulled that edge just a little bit further. And I must say, even though they've lost, I must say Fallen has absolutely showed amazing performance. So I would like to shout him out as well. Holden, do you have an MVP?
I mean, as brilliant as the Eclipse was, and as statistically MVP he should be, my heart goes out to a Voidless as Anna player. It goes out to Rasmusus there because time and time again it just showed to be deadly. Whether it's hitting headshots from across the map, or whether it's putting the tank in their place with a sleep dart and or anti. I really feel like it was the backline of a Voidless that let him get away with so much nonsense. And when you have these chaotic fights where things are happening left, right, center, upside down, and behind you, having a core that can just stay alive and get the advantage over the other team is what lets you win. And time again, that's what we saw from a Voidless backline. So my vote goes out to Rasmusus.
Now I feel basic for having my MVP as Archer. Being able to, have those massive nanoblade moments, with help of Rasmusus, but having those, massive nanoblade moments on map 1 and map 2, just cemented MVP for me. But I mean, I've got a lot less to say than what Holden did. But yeah, we've all got different MVPs, which is
I say we all call
Yeah.
them MVPs. I think everyone today was an MVP on their. It's like it's not about winning; it's about the friends that we made along the way, guys.
Winning feels pretty nice as well. Let's be honest. Winning feels
Yeah.
pretty nice.
It
So
does,
a
yeah.
Voidless should be very, very, very happy with themselves. And Amber, they're a team that I'm going to watch at least because I feel like when they do get to play what they want, that Sigmizu comp does look horrifying for the enemy team. So they'll be a team that I'll be keeping my eyes on at least.
Yeah, I think
That's-
now I think that is everything. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying before, I forgot MVP. But you can catch us on our other socials. We've got Twitter, YouTube, and you can watch the past pods. If you're missing out, if you want to watch a past team or watch all the way back to last season on YouTube, it's your choice. But you can catch us there. I've been your host, Ember, and these have been my two casters, Holden and Mary, and that's I'm not too great at doing goodbyes, so yeah.
Bye.